Hey, this is going to be my first video on the game that I've been developing for a few months now. It's less of a devlog. I'm just going to be rambling a bit. Um, and I just wanted to make this video mainly for feedback, but also to kind of explain what the game is, what it was, and hopefully what it will be. Um, For complete transparency, this clip, this bit is recorded before um, the other voice recording. Um, but I thought I'd introduce myself. I kind of entirely forgot to do that. And my name is Short Zoodles. Originally it was Short Dev, but kind of thought it was a bit basic, and also it was taken. You know, I can't steal someone else's identity. Um, so I was like, okay. And when I was thinking of an idea, I remembered when when I was younger. I've always wanted to be a game dev, but when I was younger, um, I thought of this Plants vs Zombies ripoff when I was a kid, and I was like, oh, the studio name should be Zap Noodles, um, and I was in like a massive, I was like, like I grew up with like Dan TDM and Think Noodles and things, so it came from, you know, and I was watching Think Noodles Pixelmon series at the time, so I sort of think it was Zap, so um, incredibly creative, so but anyways, so I thought I'd bring that to current times and fuse the words. Zoodles. So Zap Noodles. And I'll keep this short on front of it because I'm not very tall in real life. We'll just say that. Oh, and also I just refer to it as the game in the other clip, the voice recording. Sorry, and it you know originally it was called Flash and Breach. I think that's a decent name, but and when I changed to fantasy, I changed it to Fireball and Breach. But as time's gone on, I actually don't really like that get name anymore, so that probably won't be the final name. But as it stands, the game is currently named Fireball and Breach. There isn't any fireballs or breaching, so I don't really like the name. But that's just some added context. um, yeah, thank you for listening to this part. It's so I'll start with where the idea came from, and I I started playing a game called Ready or Not. That's what it was called. And I was like, because I, uh, I take a course at university which is for game development, and I've been off away from university on obviously on a break, because it's the summer, and I was like, I need to make a game in the meantime. So I it gave me an idea, and I was like, there isn't really any games that um, are top-down tactical shooters. The only one I can think of is I could think of now even is Hotline Miami, but that's not necessarily tactical, but it is top-down, and looks absolutely spectacular. So I was like, I'll fill that hole. Um, on screen now should be some like assets of what the game looked like back then. And as I was making it, I was like, um, It was like it needed to be multiplayer, so I developed with multiplayer. And at some point, I went on holiday during the middle of developing that stage of the game, and I had the epiphany that it was kind of boring. It's kind of basic having just top-down soldiers. Um, I wasn't a big fan. I don't think anyone would be interested. So that's why I kind of shifted to what we have now, which is a more fantasy, almost hero-based game. Um, but it's not PvP. It's primarily PvE. There isn't. Well, there is a single PvP game mode, but it's mainly for testing. I am going to keep it in the game because people might want to just force their friends, but none of the characters are going to be based or balanced around PvP. So, it's just it's there's not really much point as most of it's from PvP. There'll be some gameplay on right now. It's taken so long, even though it doesn't really look very finished. The UI isn't even remotely done. It's all placeholder stuff. The reason it's taken so long is because I really wanted to make a multiplayer game, one you can experience with your friends. Because the multiplayer's great. But you can also play it single player. The progression is you'll unlock. There'll be levels, and you'll unlock more characters as you level up. But also there'll be currency where you can upgrade the tavern. And I haven't really explained the setting. But the setting is it's basically a time rift has happened. The story's not necessarily finalized, but a time rift has happened, and the main hub, which you'll be seeing now, is a tavern which has been fused with an arcade. So you'll also be able to upgrade the arcade and get arcade machines, which arcade machines are always fun in games. So I make quite a few of them that are unlockable. But I think the main reason I made this was to kind of firstly to promote the game, because I've done absolutely no promotion. It's not even on Steam right now. But also for some feedback on the game. So anyone who miraculously comes across this video, firstly, I appreciate you for watching this far. It's 5 minutes in. Well, potentially depends how much I cut. But what was I talking about? Oh yeah, to promote it, but also to get feedback and which you can leave in the comments, or you can join the Discord and either message me or message in the suggestions section what your feedback is. I mainly would like feedback on the pace of the game and how it looks. I'm not an artist, so I think I've done a relatively good job of the sprites, especially for my skill level. And yeah, I'm quite proud of it. Again, I've forgotten. My train of thought's gone. Oh yeah, that's the thought I said I'd end on. I you know uh, I I think this video should kind of also show that anyone can make a game, and I'd really encourage people to make games, no matter your skill level. I don't rely on tutorials too much. Obviously you need to learn coding and, you know, um, you need to learn somehow. And if you have no experience, fair enough. But you know, I, the best way to learn, in my opinion, is by doing really small games, under heavy restrictions, like the ones that are on my itch page, um, or even join a game jam, even without experience. You know, no, nobody's nobody's gonna insult you for for attempting, especially not your first game. Um, and you know, if it turns out to be great, then hell yeah. I. But yeah, I kind of just wanted to end on that. You know, I think I I mean TLDR. Um, the game was originally military, now it's fantasy. Um, I um, I'd like some feedback on the gameplay. Does it look too slow? Or some ideas for characters would be cool. I've got plenty of ideas. I have the trailer set up. I don't know if I'll turn that public. If people want to see it, I might turn it public. Um, but there's not really any need to right now. Um, and I'm not the smartest guy in the world. Which I'm not being self-deprecating at all. I'm just saying, you know, um, if you're interested in making a game, give it a shot. You know, there's no harm in doing that. Um, and you might find something you really enjoy, like I do. I absolutely love game development. Um, I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to say. I appreciate anyone who decided to watch the video, especially this damn far. Um, and you know, um, I don't really want to cut much of this because I think I think it's quite important for um, how kind of scatterbrained I am to come through because I want to be transparent about all that. I you know um, well yeah, again, thank you for listening to my dev rambles is what I'll call it. Yeah, I'll thank you for listening to my rambling for however long it the video turns out to be. I appreciate you and have a good rest of your day and a good week.